So, some of the challenges that you probably faced in that, I know it wasn't the easiest, but there was a lot of price action. There was a lot of ranges. They would you're talking about $5 range. If you just took $1 of the movement, you made some money. You take $1 and you had like 10 contracts. You remember each contract is like 100 shares, right? So you're talking about for every contract, 10 contracts, you talk about maybe $1,000 that you could have made if you just took $1. But there's some stocks that moved $10, $3, $5, or we started negative and it made it all up and it moved a total of $6. Like it was just insane, the type of price action. So now that the dust is settled, I really, really want to take the time and shout every one of y'all out that it was a great learning experience. I don't care what part of the journey that you're on. You're probably completely seasoned and you did a really, really good job. I want you to take that, journal it, put it in your notebook so that way you know how that feeling feels and how you can replicate it. If you had a down week or a down day, just like we said in the middle of the week, this is your journey, right? So that's okay. Don't worry about what's going on in the Profits channel. Don't worry about the distractions that surround you. Even if it's family. I got my family with me almost damn near 24/7. Y'all know I homeschool. They drive me nuts. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to minimize the distraction and still be able to journal yourself. Either journal your trades or journal your trading journey itself, so that way you can know what type of mindset that you was in as well. What I'm going to play for y'all is something I've been playing around with. This is something I recorded a long time ago. But the way I want you to understand this, we are the individual and you got to know thyself, right? And what I mean by know thyself, you got to know who you are in this market and you got to know who you are in this world. You got to really understand yourself so that way when the market opens that mirror in front of you, that you could be able to handle what you see on the other side, right? What do I mean by that? So if you're a procrastinator, right? The market is going to show you procrastinating. You probably hesitate on your trades and this, that, third, or you probably don't draw your trend lines. You're late to drawing your trend lines. You miss on opportunities. Now you're chasing, you're getting FOMO. If you're a procrastinator in real life, you probably supposed to start work at 9 o'clock, but you wait till 8:45 to wake up. And now you're jumping to your clothes, this, that, third, and you're speeding on 95, right? You're rushing. Haste make waste, right? That's one aspect. If you are a very rigid person that, you don't allow anything to really affect your structure or your plans or your routine, right? If you're that type of person, guess what ends up happening? In the market, it'll show you where, all right, I'm a very rigid person, so it has to hit my trend line a certain type of way. It has to show me this, and I will not take the trade or else it hits this. So I'm gonna leave it alone. But then it might have just got just close enough, and now you get into FOMO and you're chasing on that regard. So like I said, the market will reveal itself, and I want y'all to have balance. And the first thing people usually do, sometimes you get to the point where you're down on yourself, where you hate aspects of yourself. So what I'm going to play is, I took a ploy off of and I'll give you a little prerequisite. I took a ploy of the Chinese symbol of the yin and yang, right? Where everything has an opposite reaction. There's balance and everything else. Without darkness, there's no light. And without good, there's no evil. Like this is kind of like that aspect of it. But I'm doing it metaphorically on how we battle ourselves, either taking a trade or making decisions or protecting ourselves, right? So yeah, it's a challenging reward, but the key thing out of homeschooling is the key word, challenging, right? All right, so I hope y'all enjoyed that. I think it gave enough time for everybody to get in here. But if you understand what happened, it's basically two segments. Yin, basically the darkness, but at the end of the day, that's your fear, that's your greed, that's everything, that's your balance that in itself. Like you're looking in an aspect of every negative thing and you're like, oh my God, I'm afraid to get into the market. That's great. That is a great feeling because you have to be completely confident it's going to do the results that you expected. Meanwhile, if you sit and live inside of fear, guess what ends up happening? You just never get into the market. You know what's the biggest fear when it's all said and done? Is when you have these traders that turn around and tell me, oh my God, I can't do this. This is not going to work. I am never going to be a great trader. And then all you do is reside. And that's why I said in that segment, reside inside of being fearful. You cannot reside in yin or that negativity or whatever it is that it has to be a balance. You need it, but you're not supposed to live there. But then if you have too much fear, you can, at the same time, you cannot have too much of positivity, self-patting your back, that overconfidence and everything else. So when Yang comes into the second part of it, he's basically saying, listen, I get what you're saying. Yeah, he can really mess up and throw you off. Exactly. It shows your character. Because we don't want to be, and I explained this before, the exposure of the market is like sitting in the middle of the rain and you have no home to go to. After a while, you're going to get cold, you're going to get sick and everything else. You need that shelter. You got to be able to protect yourself, right? So the only way you're going to protect yourself when you're having too much negativity, you're exposed to so much negativity, is to power it with a lot of positivity. But at the same time, if you have too much positivity, guess what? That's where the FOMO lives. That's where everything else. Oh, you know what? I heard this one made this much in profit. I'm going to go in and jump in without any fear. And then out of nowhere, you're probably in the wrong position because you never applied any fear of the possibility of what can happen. So as he was saying, he was like, I'm going to stay with you instead. Because he was once a very negative person and he got tired of him. He even hung up the phone on you because he got tired of that negativity. But it wasn't that. He needed both. He needed the protection from yin. You need the negativity. You need to know what can happen, because Murphy's law is whatever can happen, whatever could happen will happen, right? So you gotta know when it comes down to it, if that support level is the reason why you get into the market, I'm in this trade because of the support level. If it breaks, no, you do not drag your stop loss because you have all the positivity that you are right. No, you got to accept the fear, accept the fact that you can get greedy, and then I know where you end up losing more money. That's what he was explaining in there. So as I get into this segment, I hope y'all enjoyed that. Oh, the link. Now, look, I haven't even released it. I decided, since I really like what segment that I'm about to get into on this one, that's why I'm so happy to record this. I had a prerequisite of what my aim is when it's all said and done. The goal is balance, because there's going to be a couple things I'm going to say in there, and if you're not open-minded to it, it can really kind of throw y'all off. So please be open-minded. We're going to go deep into this. So let's get started. So if you notice in my post, I literally said infinite ignition, right? Fueling your trading journey. Like, I want you to build that fire inside of you that you're going to be a great trader. I want you to understand, the moment that you came into this mindset class, you did not come in as weak. I don't want you. I was speaking to somebody and it was like, mindset. I don't want to talk about mindset. Mindset is like, I got it. Like, listen, do not come in with some arrogance when it comes down to the market. I promise you, it will tell you all about yourself. It will tell you that your stop loss is not so powerful. It will tell you that we're going to go ahead and wick right past it. And then out of nowhere, instead of you being down 5%, it's going to be down 20%. That can happen. So do not go in there and feel like you can make the market do what you want it to do. The same way you cannot make your mind do what you want it to do. For those that actually go to the gym and everything else, you have to work that mindset out. It's going to take steps. It's going to take days. I started off challenging myself on shortening my capability of getting back to zero. I don't want to be too high. I don't want to be too low. I try to avoid distractions. I ignore distractions around me. And I embrace the fact that I have the most distraction than any other trader around here, other than those that probably trade in at work. I homeschool. The wifey's also trading with me. I get all the distractions, everybody pulling me left and right. My phone's on mute, but guess what? Some people still send me like blast text. I can get those distractions. So I want y'all to reignite that fuel. If you came in and felt like, all right, I don't know what the market's going to do, I lost a lot of money, I need you to reignite. You are a great trader. That's why I said what I said on Wednesday's mindset. Wednesday's mindset was specifically, there was so many opportunities and you'll feel like you got all the FOMOs and everything else. Go back to some of my videos. We talked about JOMO. You got to be able to be okay with missing out. And when you okay with missing out, then you can build up that fire back inside of you so that way you can be able to get back into the trading realm, get into the trading arena, get into the trading ring. It's a fight in there. It is a fight. And if you go in there with a low fire into your trading journey, I'm telling you this right now, you're going to let the wind blow you wherever it goes. You're going to put out your fire. Then you're going to turn around and be like, JD, listen, I'm done with trading. It's not for me. I'm going to walk away. See you later. Look, we had like over 16,000 people that ran through our Discord. 16,000. Actively, I would say probably 5,000. Actively day trading, maybe less than that. Why is that? Could be a couple things. Life. It could be imbalance and arrogance. But I promise you, at least a good 90% of it, they lost the fire for trading. So let's begin, right, with painting the imagery, right? Maybe a few hundred, right? Let's paint the imagery, right? When you need to start your car, and those that understand how cars work, you need a starter and everything else, but that's the ignition that you need, right? Igniting the car to be like, hey, turn that engine over, we got to go somewhere. Or let's take a gas stove. What do? You strike a lighter, ignite it, put it in there, boom, there you go, you got fire. Or a barbecue, you put some kerosene. It takes power to be able to have that spark. When you light that lighter, you have to strike it hard. It takes some strength, it takes some impact, it takes some real backing from your hand to the strike box to get that fire to go. If you go ahead and light like, oh no, it was really not my setup, but I just kind of like, I'm just gonna, there you go. It won't even give you a burn. If anything, it'll give you a little spark, but it never give you a light. So I want you to really understand that when you turn that key in that car, right? You've already made the decision before you got in the car that you're going to go in that direction. And you got to keep it lit. You got to keep fanning it. You got to keep the gas. Let you not pay that gas and you lit that fire. Guess what? That fire is going out. You got to keep that flame going. And the market is blowing all the winds, everything to stop you, probably trying to kick your car down and mess up your starter so it never starts up again. They probably are playing bumper cars with your car. That's what their goal is. Because if they bump you out, they can get you out and go make that money. So now I'm going to go ahead and reference, like, it's not about the car you drive, but the drive inside of you. All right, Christy, see you, right? This is an Eric Thomas quote. It's you. It's what's in you. So I don't care what happened. If the car is not starting, what are you going to do about it? Get it started. So why can't you do it with your trading journey? If you're going to light that barbecue, it's up to you to go get the kerosene so that way you can, or lighter fluid so that way you can spark it up. I want barbecue. It looks like barbecue would be great today, but I don't know. I ran out of kerosene the other day. I used all of it last trade. Sorry, not last trade. I forgot I was doing metaphor. I used it up all of the last barbecue. But I really want barbecue. But you never take the initiative to go get the kerosene in the first place so you can light up your fire. Whose fault is it? We got charting classes. We had things like belt systems. We've had the CCTA, we had this, we had that, we had all types of ways for you to learn how to trade. Did you take full advantage of it? Did you build up that foundation so that way you have a strong foundation that you never have to turn back and look at your old yourself? Why do I always reference Neo's be 1% better every day? Why do I do that? Because it's your job to do the initiative. If you are a 10% type of trader and you're spending your whole entire time being 1% better, and you did that for 15, 20, 30 days, the whole goal is to be 1% better, you'll get to 100. But it takes you doing the work. So it's going to require, if in this car, right? It's going to require taking care of your car, taking care of your needs. You're in one step. Congratulations. Put a pat on your back. You came to mindset. You already know that it's deeper than rap. It's deeper than just trading. It's deeper than having a brokerage account. It's deeper than having money. Trading requires a certain type of mindset because at the end of the day, you will face losses. I hate to say it to you. Those losses will come. And when those losses come, you have to be able to handle them. Let's incorporate David Goggins. You are in the danger of living a life so comfortable and soft that you will die without ever realizing your true potential. Those losses are lessons. Thank you, Melina. You're so comfortable. I don't want to expose. I don't want to lose money. I don't know if I should take that trade. That means you don't like your strategy. Oh, my strategy, it's great, Jeff. Everything's fine with it. Is it? So why are you not executing it? Well, last time I took a trade, it did this, that, and third. Well, did you back test it 100 times to make sure it can handle this climate in the market? Well, I don't really like back testing because, I got to go to work and everything else. Well, then I don't know what to tell you. If anybody knows me, when I started trading, I was all over everything, every way, fashion, form, because my why was big enough. I've asked y'all that question before, referencing some of Eric Thomas's biggest quotes. My why was big enough because I knew for a fact that the money was flowing somewhere in there. I just didn't understand how to put a net up to catch any of it. You have cheatcode.com that sits there and tries to do it in every way, fashion, or form. We do it from free floors. We do it from free charting. We do it from workshops. Everything is wide open now. When I first came into Cheat Code, I had to pay $2,400 for the information that y'all getting for free right now. Are y'all showing up? Are y'all taking advantage? I don't know when free is going to be free and when free will not be free, or is free going to be forever, or is free going to go ahead and flip and free is less free than free, and now free is more like the price that you pay for and you're only going to get what you get for. We've done nothing but gems when it's all said and done. Have you done the maintenance? You are in the danger of living life so comfortable, systematic, working the job, punching in, and you have something that you want that could probably be your escape, and you're 50% in, 50% out. It's not my fault. I show up. Adjusting the flame. Now, I did say light up the fire. You gotta build that up. You gotta get it deep inside of your gut and just let that fire burn. But listen, don't go burning down the market. That's where you get that revenge trading start to kick in. You don't want that. You don't want those pressures. You got to control your emotions. That is why I do a midweek mindset on Wednesday, just to bring you back to the middle, so that way you don't have to wait the whole entire week. But by then you already blew your account. By then you already lost all your money. By then you got to refund all your money. By then you have to wait 2 weeks, because you got to wait for your 2-week check, so that way you can put in the little smidget out of your paycheck, so you can make sure you maintain your lifestyle and still go ahead and fund your account again. How many times have you done that? You can put a 1 in the chat if you ever done that before. Link your control of emotions to adjusting the flames. Rational decision making. We are idiots when we're inside of a trade. We make all the dumb moves. We make all the flaws because our emotions is tied to the right? You know what I'm saying? Like we get so wrapped up on the possibilities that we feel like it's endless if it's going our way, and we are sitting in all type of anxiety if we're showing a little bit of red. Might stop ourselves out early. You have to keep a rational decision making in trading. I know there was a time we used to say this over and over again. We used to say, is the patient that takes the money from the impatient. We could say it's the smart money taking it from the dumb money. I don't know if you've heard that before. But it's really the emotionless taking money from the emotional. You go into the market so emotional. Oh man, I was arguing with my wife. Oh man, I lost like $1,000 last week, and then start that spiral where you read for the whole entire week. Oh man, my job, they be stressing me. Oh man, that means you didn't go in there with a strategy, because a strategy literally says this. And remember, we told you this before, right? You have to have all the W's, right? 1, you have to have your why. Why are you even looking at the market in the first place? Did an alert let you know? Or you just bored and you just want to click a damn button? Is it ready for you to enter? You're not going to get to what, as in what is your entry, until you know your why. If you skip over the why, then you might as well just go ahead and take your money, put it on 100 on black in the Vegas casino. It's 50-50. Or really, they got zeros and double zeros, so it's actually worked out to like 48-48, because the double zero just wipe everything out. But you might as well just go ahead and go into a casino, because you're not playing with a strategy. Is there a way to make money out of the market? Absolutely. Does it require anything? Absolutely. What does it require? Discipline. What is the discipline? Backtesting, research, I'll tell you this right now. Peyton Manning wasn't a great quarterback because Peyton Manning was just, trip, fell, landed, and he threw a ball. No, he did not do that. He actually spent more time. Let's do this in a metaphor to our trading floor. The trading floor is game day. The trading floor is game day. The question is, did you take any practices when the trading floor Zoom is closed? If your answer is no, then I suggest you start practicing. He also studied tape. What does that mean? He studied the tendency of his opponents, so that way when he sees something, he knows how to attack it. So if you're not studying tape, then your answer no. I suggest you study tape. So that's the why. The other one is what? What is your entry? When this happens, I'll do this. When that happens, I'll do that. It's a big ass if-then statement. So if you never did any type of computer programming, you probably don't understand what I mean. But those that do, you get what I'm saying. If you don't have that, the computer automatically says error. If you just click the button and you know for a fact you didn't put no brackets, you had no stop loss, no targets, no direction, no nothing, guess what? Error. Stop what you're doing. You're doing something wrong. Get yourself out, because while you're in the trade, you're an idiot. When you're out of the trade, you're the most smartest person in the world. And then after you get your why, after you get your what, then you need to know when. When do you get out? Because again, if it's raining outside, you know to put up an umbrella. If it's raining outside, you know to get your ass inside the house. So when do you get out of the market? Because right now it's raining, and it might be raining far away from you, where you're just getting very, very good positive, but eventually the rain's going to come and wet you. You see the clouds coming, they're all swirling around you. They can't wait to take your profits. So when do you get out? You need your stop loss, and you need to take profit. That is your win. Without those three things, you will burn down your portfolio instead of the market. So let's get to the next part. How to keep that continuous spark going, right? This one, it's this is where I said I want you to be completely open-minded, right? Just like Jim Rome has said, he is no theologian. By all means, I'm not. I am a God-fearing man when it's all said and done, but there are some key things that can be said in all books, and the Bible is just like another book. So I'm going to just give you a couple things and just understand the concept behind it. Don't worry about where it came from, right? Let us not be weary in doing good, for proper time we will reap a harvest if we don't give up. Sometimes you're just not in there long enough. Sometimes I know some traders, and the statistics is this: 70% of traders usually give up no more than 30 days, maybe a couple weeks, because it requires a certain type of discipline, and the language and the jargon can be a little confusing. And then now you're like, okay, I'm just giving it up. 70%. So if you're here in mindset and you've actually taken even a single dollar out of the market in profit, you're already at step one. You survived the 70%. But of the 30% that is still left, about 90% of the people quit within a year. A lot of the reason why they quit is because they didn't have the proper mentors. They didn't have a community. They didn't have a structure. They didn't have anything that they could refer to. I tried talking to my friends and family, trying to explain them what trading is, and it felt like I was talking to a brick wall. I don't even want to tell you what some of my more, I'm going to use the word urban friends decided to tell me what it seemed like I was doing, and I had no business doing it in the first place. It's not my field of expertise. That's what they told me. But I am starting to reap my harvest because I never gave up. You got to be able to continue that spark. Another one I'm going to give you. For this reason, I remind you to fan the flame and the gift of whoever you follow, the Almighty, which is in you. Only you can keep that fire going. And the last one I'm going to give you: the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So ask yourself this: is your path, is your journey showing you any part of that 1% better? Because if it is, then that means you're starting to see that the light at the end of the tunnel is starting to really get brighter and brighter and brighter. Those aha moments, oh man, JD said this and Neo said that and Steve said this. Oh, I get it now. Now the pieces are starting to fall into place. And then now it's all about the discipline and the repetition and consistency. That's where it comes from. So keeping that fuel, keeping that spark going, so that way the fire never goes out. It's up to you. And however you want to paraphrase this, I just gave y'all a couple of things for y'all to key off on. I'm telling you this right now. Everyone that understands this, applies it, you will be successful. I have 38 people in here. I probably have like half of y'all. You're probably like, well, JD's full of crap. That's okay. I don't do this for y'all per se. I do it for those that are ready to receive it. And then half of that is probably not even writing this down, and you're going to forget it in 10 seconds. And that's okay. Because at the end of the day, I didn't do it for y'all. I did it for the half of the half that's actually going to apply all of this, because I've already applied it. I'm okay with that. And I'm going to be here next Saturday, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to be there Wednesday. I'm going to be on the trading floor. I'm going to do everything. Because you know what I'm going to do is not give up. Question is, are you? So to completely put this in full circle and go ahead and open it up to talk to everyone, y'all, I want y'all to understand. I know this was very direct and very pointed. I kind of stewed on it for at least a good 5 or 10 minutes as I was writing it. And then before I even open up, I don't know if you noticed, I didn't even open the floor on time. It's because I was still battling if I was going to use this segment for today. But just like any trading strategy, My strategy is to show you the path so that way you can have that mental balance to come back to zero. I took the risk. So can you take the risk on yourself?